My name is Chase Starr, and by clicking on this video, you are slowly killing yourself, but not in a way you might not expect. You see, technology is bad for all of us, and today's discussion points are going to be over these social media conglomerates that are slowly killing us, which are Snapchat and TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, and YouTube and X. So without further ado, let me go into detail about how these social medias are slowly killing us. You see, what inspired this speech was Rose's speech during the informative speech we did last time, as it was very informative on the effects of technology, and I felt like that could be further elaborated on, which is why I actually voted her for best speech. The internet is slowly killing us internally, and I feel like it's in our best interest for us to at least try to limit it. As someone that's lived on the computer for the last 5 years, I feel qualified in detailing these effects and explaining why we need to limit social media to the best of our ability. First up is Snapchat and TikTok, which I feel is the worst of the free groups as it promotes short form content, which I feel like is infinitely worse than long form content. As not only does it lower our attention span, on top of that, it makes us more impatient, but also it makes us scroll a lot longer as we're like, oh, I'll watch for 5 minutes. Suddenly 5 minutes turns into 5 hours and it's 3 a.m. on a school night and you wonder, why have I done this to myself? And it's a constant loop that just keeps going and going. Now, Cole did a study, which I read, which was very informative on the effects that TikTok and Snapchat had on people's brains, which I felt like was a very good source to read up on. On top of that, Snapchat kind of masked its short form content into kind of a messaging system by having the ability to add friends and message people, which makes it seem like a necessary when it really isn't. I mean, messages still exist, and you could probably, that'd be way more beneficial and not cost you to waste time. TikTok, though, on the other hand, has promoted challenges like the Tide Pod Challenge, which got people to eat Tide Pods and end up going to the hospital, and some people even died because they thought it'd be funny and safe, when in reality, no. TikTok promotes these dangerous challenges, and they get lots of views, which causes the ante to go up to the point where TikTok will eventually become the Hunger Games in probably 5 to 10 years, which makes it kind of beneficial for us to probably get off TikTok, hopefully, in the future. Next up is Instagram and Facebook, which, whilst not being short form content, at least not Facebook, Instagram's pretty short form content. But what they do instead is they kind of make you want to chase numbers and likes and follows on photos, which is pretty bad in and of itself because it makes you not want to focus on the memory of the photo itself, but rather, oh, is this post going to get a bunch of likes? Is this post going to get a bunch of likes? And so on, which is just really bad. I mean, it just kind of takes away the moment of life that you get each day. Just being like, oh, let me take a quick picture of myself. Instagram is also really egregious because apparently you have to post up to 20 times a day to even to get a lot of followers, which kind of makes it seem pointless now because we don't really, realistically, not many of us are willing to put up that much of commitment. Alabash went into kind of detail on the effects that Facebook and Instagram had on college students, which I know is very important for a lot of the audience listening to this because most of you are going to college next year. Next up is X and YouTube. I'll go over YouTube first since I've been on it the most by a long shot. Now, YouTube is bad both as a content creator and a viewer. For content creation, it's very bad because YouTube promotes people that upload consistently, which is very difficult for some YouTubers, especially like animation channels, who feasibly cannot upload a consistent amount. So most of them retire, or most of them just leave the platform. But on top of that, YouTube has become a lot more AI dependent, as they keep having AI ads that are just inappropriate for the website. I mean, they made YouTube Kids, but YouTube Kids are also experiencing ads that shouldn't be seen by kids because it's just AI slop and also AI porn, which is just very bad in general for both people that use normal YouTube and YouTube Kids. On top of that, they're also asking for ID, which is very invasive for a company, which is also pretty bad. These implements and just changes to YouTube's system has become worse and worse as the platform gets worse and worse. X, on the other hand, is just a war zone of just the most chaotic thoughts and things that people could imagine. As these crazy takes get more views, the more polarized these people become, and the cycle continues until you get people so radicalized that it doesn't even feel like people anymore. That's the main drawback to X. It's also very toxic as well, and both of these sites are very bad for like doxing. I've seen multiple like YouTubers get doxed, multiple people get doxed on like X. Why both YouTube and X as a platform have become kind of a toxic placehold, and it's just gotten worse and worse on both websites since about that time. Aside by multiple offers kind of went over the effects that both X and YouTube had on like adolescents and young adults. It was a very good read and like very good charts to analyze because it kind of just showed how downhill things were getting. And you might be wondering, why care? Why make these points? Aren't you kind of being a hypocrite since you spend at least 50 hours each week on YouTube? Yes, I am not perfect. I feel like life could be way better for all of you listening right now if you could just remove one social media. I used to use YouTube a lot, but I grew some hobbies I still have to this day, and it caused me to use social media less and less. For example, music. Most of us are going into college next year, as shown in the Know Your Demographic that we did earlier this semester. And I want you to think for a moment, right? Would you really want to spend your college career just in your apartment, just scrolling on your couch when you could be doing so much more? There's so much you can do outside of social media during college that would not only be more better for you mentally, but it would be way better for you experience-wise and just life. This is all to say that I think the world would be a much better place if we could just consider the idea of removing one or two social medias from our everyday life and then going from there. To further elaborate, there was a study done by Kiek who studied the loneliness of college students that use social media more, and it showed that students felt way more lonely when they use social media a lot more. I hope this video will help at least you guys understand how social media will become the end of society as we know it at this rate. But hopefully you've considered the idea of at least removing some social media influence from your life. I know it's an addiction, but we really do need to try to get past it. Now, I have two things I want to ask of you before this video ends. That's one, to please shut the video off and just think about it for 2 minutes. If you don't agree with me, at least consider the fact that you have family members that do want to see you and talk to you a lot, and they don't get to do that as much when you don't interact with them and you stay occupied on social media. This is Chase Star.